Namaste. Welcome to this video where I'm going to focus on NEP 2020's most important stage of learning, foundational stage, covering preschool, Anganwadi, kindergarten, grade 1 and 2. Viewers, I will take you step by step through the teaching learning practices that are common and popular in the early childhood education. And I will also suggest one of the most suitable instructional practice that may be followed to achieve the goals of NEP 2020 in my subsequent videos. I'll also give you few practical tips to use in your classrooms in my later videos. But in this video, I'm going to talk about developmentally appropriate practice, a very common instructional practice that progressive and aware teachers use in their early childhood classes. I will highlight the core considerations and the principles of developmentally appropriate practices. It is for you to decide to make a curriculum that suits the need of the early learners. With the introduction of new education policy, it is significant to note that policymakers and the public are now far more aware of the importance of the early childhood years in shaping children's futures. And in the pursuit of making early learning successful lies three challenges: reducing learning gaps and increasing the achievement of all children, creating improved, better, connected education for preschool and elementary children, and recognizing teacher knowledge and decision making as vital to educational effectiveness. Teachers who are knowledgeable about child development and learning are able to make broad predictions about what children of a particular age group typically will be like, what they typically will and will not be capable of, and what strategies and approaches will most likely promote their optimal learning and development. With this knowledge, teachers can make preliminary decisions with some confidence about environment materials, interactions, and activities. Children differ in many other respects too, including in their strengths, interests, preferences, personalities, and approaches to learning and knowledge skills, and abilities based on prior experiences. Children may also have special learning needs. Sometimes these have been diagnosed and sometimes they have not. Among the factors that teachers need to consider as they seek to optimize a child's school adjustment and learning are circumstances such as living in poverty, having to move frequently, and other challenging situations. Among the factors that teachers need to consider as they seek to optimize child's school adjustment and learning are circumstances such as living in poverty, having to move frequently, and other challenging situations. Children are thinking, moving, feeling, and interacting human beings. To teach them well involves considering and fostering their development and learning in all domains. Human development research suggests that relatively stable, predictable sequence of growth and changes occur in children during the first 9 years of life. Predictable changes occur in all domains of development, although the ways that these changes are manifested and the meaning attached to them may vary widely in different cultural and linguistic contexts. All children have their own strengths, needs, and interests, given the enormous variation among children of the same chronological age. A child's age is only a crude index of developmental abilities and interests. Development is the result of interplay between the growing, changing child and the child's experience in the social and physical worlds. For example, a child's genetic makeup may predict healthy growth, but inadequate nutrition in the early years of life will keep this potential from being fulfilled. Children's early experiences, whether positive or negative, are cumulative. For example, a child's social experience with other children in the preschool years may help him develop social skills and confidence that enable him or her to make friends in subsequent years. And these experiences further enhance the child's social competence and academic achievement. Children's functioning becomes increasingly complex in language, social interaction, physical movement, problem solving, and virtually every other domain. From the earliest years of life, warm, nurturing relationships with responsive adults are necessary for many key areas of children's development, including empathy and cooperation, self-regulation and cultural socialization, language and communication, peer relationships and identity formation. Understanding children's development requires viewing each child within the social cultural context and of that child's family, educational setting and community, as well as within the broader society. Young children construct their knowledge and understanding of the world in the course of their experiences, as well as from teachers, family members, peers, and older children, and from books and other media. Children of all ages love to play, and it gives them opportunities to develop physical competence and enjoyment of outdoors, understand and make sense of their world, interact with others, express and control emotions, develop their symbolic and problem-solving abilities, and practice emerging skills. Human beings, especially children, are motivated to understand or do what is just beyond their current understanding or mastery. Effective teachers create a rich environment even in the early years. Children differ in their approaches to learning. These differences may influence children's school readiness and school success. For example, children who start school more eager to learn tend to do better in reading and mathematics than do less motivated children. There are some tips for teaching. Offer both child-initiated and teacher-directed learning experiences. Be responsive to children's ideas by offering material, documentation, sample of their work, photograph, etc., and thoughtful conversation that build on their ideas, skills, and knowledge. Plan for hands-on experiences where children learn by doing. Plan enough time for children to explore and fully engage their interests. And build children's learning by adding activities that challenge children and expand on what they can do. Tips for curriculum. Identify and define core learning goals for individual children and the program. Develop a curriculum framework based on child development, individual learning, and cultures of the children in your group and that reflects learning goals. Use the framework for planning activities, experiences, and routines. Present rich content-focused work center areas and both indoor and outdoor environments that have meaningful connections to children's interests, curiosities, and development. Allow for flexibility in programming. Tips for assessment. Assess what is appropriate for children developmentally, individually, and culturally. Use assessment tools that allow you to assess children in an authentic, ongoing, and intentional manner. Develop a system for collecting and compiling assessment information. use results for planning, decision-making, communicating with families and other colleagues, and to identify children who may need additional learning support. Gather information from multiple sources, including families, children, and other